are we now on the budget? And here's the answer on where we are now. Ain't nobody really knows. And in my opinion, there's no way to really know until January. But clearly, it's going to be impacted by three things: Hurricane Ike, Hurricane Lehman Brothers, and Hurricane Tax Shift. To put it mildly, Hurricane Ike's impact on Texas is definitely going to have an impact on the budget. There are going to be bills to pay as a result of Hurricane Ike. It's a natural disaster that is going to result in cost to the state. Hurricane Lehman Brothers, I'm obviously using as a euphemism for the national and the international economic turmoil that's going on. Some folks keep talking about Texas maybe not being hit or not being hit very hard, or at least not as hard as other places. And of course, some of the people doing the talking are political figures, so they're acting like they can take credit for that in some way or another. But and the truth of the matter is, we are better off right now. But let's face it, the trends will be reflected more and more in everything from consumer confidence to our energy sector to our exporting industries. And when it hits those two in particular, it's going to make a real difference in what happens in Texas. I think that it's going to probably mean the national and international trends are probably going to mean more economic discomfort in Texas. You're going to see less activity, and you're going to see less revenue in the state's coffers as a result of that. The third hurricane is the result of the special session in 2006. And I came into the legislative session, I came into the legislature in January of 2007. And if you'll remember, there had been a legislative session, in a special session called, as a result of the fact that the Texas Supreme Court had declared the public school financing system unconstitutional. And I won't go into all that, but I will say that you'll remember we came out of that in 2006, that special session in 2006, and there was a lot of fanfare and a lot of self-congratulations that property taxes were going to be decreased and there was going to be an increase in business taxes. Basically, a shift in where that money was going to come from. And I will tell you from my personal perspective, that hasn't worked out as well as people predicted. As I've already mentioned to you, I think in January of 2007, there were some that didn't believe it was going to work out as well as they might have been saying, because that's why that money was put into a mattress. I think the structure of the largest tax is probably sound. It brings in more businesses. It avoids certain types of constitutional challenges, among other things. But it hadn't been administered or implemented as well as we might like. First of all, it's hard to administer, apparently. People tell me about hour-long waits for them to call in to get basic questions answered about what they ought to be doing and how it applies to them. Accountants are very frustrated because of the difficulties of putting this into place. And we hear a great deal from small businesses that have seen a skyrocket in their tax bills. I personally believe that there is a lack of planning, and perhaps some of the loopholes have made it almost certain that it would fail to at least bring in as much money as it was supposed to, or as people said they planned for it. And what's happened is that's